Wandin North Primary School opened on September the 15th, 1915 and enrolled 20 students. This was the same day on the other side of the world the Anzacs were being evacuated from Gallipoli. Over the next generations, the school grew bigger to match the growth of Wandin North. From that first day when the enrolment was just 20 to 2023 when the enrolment is now 320, this is still a small school. And the block of land on which this school sits is also small. So small, it was impossible to build a gymnasium or an assembly hall. So the children, whether playing sport in the yard or gathering for an assembly, were always open to the elements. Heat, cold, wind and rain. And after more than 100 years, it seemed a problem that was impossible to solve. And then at last, a solution. The school came up with the concept of a massive steel frame over which a huge PVC cover would be stretched. Architects call this design a barrel vault. This would provide shade and shelter over the rectangular area in the school grounds, which had always been open to the weather, where students assembled or enjoyed recreation.
When the Department of Education put the Minor Capital Works grants open, we sat down, myself and a school council member, a local member, Megan Gibbons. We looked at different ideas of what we could do to enhance the school, and we really want to look at our infrastructure to see how we can improve it. Then we provided some options to school council, and then at a school council meeting we decided that this assembly area, a cover for our children, was very important of moving forward for obvious reasons. But then Megan and I had done some investigations with companies such as Greenline, and we presented that to our school council, and that's how the initial project started, to put in an application for the Minor Capital Works grant.
The school was favourably attracted to Greenline construction in Wagga Wagga.
My dealings with Greenline when I first approached them were fantastic. They had representatives that came out to the school, looked at the site, measured it up and gave us a really detailed quote. Then the Department of Education put out the shade sail grant as well for outdoor learning out of COVID, and that's where I've already doing the groundwork with Greenline, invested in them to do our smaller shelter, and as you can see it was outstanding. So we had great confidence when this project finally got off the ground that we're going to have a really great product moving forward for us.
Greenline delivers quality structures for school environments down the eastern seaboard of Australia. Our process ensuring the de-risking of any site works and fabrication is second to none.
The first step in this innovative project was to lay the foundations. 6 deep holes filled with reinforced concrete. And then insert brackets onto which the structure's steel poles would be bolted. This is high precision work. The bolt holes must align with each other when the prefabricated steel arrives.
Absolute importance to ensure that when the structure arrives on site, it fits and we are a minimal disruption to the school environment to allow classes to operate as they normally would.
At Wagga Wagga, Greenline had already ordered the materials and began cutting the steel to size. And then the heavy-duty welding. Why Greenline has stood out from other construction companies is the care taken with their welding. They use a hot welding technique, which means heating the steel first and then welding joints while the steel is still hot. This means the welding goes deeper into the steel, and all welding is independently analysed and tested by Sturt University.
We can provide the mill certificates for the steelwork, ensuring quality products are used for these high-risk environments, and also de-risking the structure and the process for the school and our company Greenline.
The cutting and welding finished, the steel was then powder coated by another independent company at Corowa, then loaded onto a truck and delivered overnight to arrive before dawn the next morning. Getting the steel as close as possible to the school construction site was a delicate operation. A special high-lift crane unloaded the steel from the truck into the school grounds. Assembling the frame was the task for specialised riggers, acting independently on small cranes to give them access to every nut and bolt connection high above the ground. This operation went like clockwork. Everything fitted perfectly. The frame was now ready for the final stage, the fitting of a large fabric sail providing the shade. The process began with fitting a band of strong fabric webbing along the top ridgeline. This would bear the weight of the shade sail, all one giant piece weighing more than 600 kilograms. A crane lifted the PVC shade cloth package to the top of the frame, where the riggers carefully unfolded its length onto the support webbing, and then unfolding its width, one side at a time. Weather is a crucial factor. A breeze of more than 16 kilometres an hour would make this a dangerous operation and rip the enormous sail off the frame before it could be secured, so there's no time to waste. Once the roof is temporarily secured, the webbing that supported it is taken down. The sail is secured and tensioned by nuts and bolts through dozens of steel lugs along the frame. This makes the sail as tight as a drum and strong enough to resist the fiercest storm. The only things left to do were the plumbing, to fit guttering and downpipes and connect them to the school's stormwater drain system, and the final cleanup. And here it is. The shelter looks magnificent. This has been the school's biggest ever project, but it did run into a brick wall. With a steep increase in construction costs from the time the budget was first approved, there was a financial shortfall. When approached for help, the Wandin Seville Community Bank quickly responded with a donation to get this project up and running. Without that help, the school's shelter may not have gone ahead.
Yeah, it's been amazing. For us as a school and me as a principal, it's the first time approaching the bank for support, and the process was really easy. Sitting with the board, with my school council president Craig McAvoy, showing our needs, what we were looking for to support the children, to sort of future-proof our school.
Yes, this is a happy achievement for the Wandin North Primary School, and the Wandin Seville Community Bank is proud and happy to have been part of the journey.
Our school's at a size, it doesn't qualify for a gymnasium, it doesn't qualify for a hall, and we've been out in the elements for over 100 years doing our assemblies here, and you know, if it's too hot we have to go inside, if it's wet we have to do them inside in our individual classrooms, and it reduces the amount that our community can get together. Our motto at Wandin North is a community of learners achieving together, and we want to make sure that we can continue that community feel. And with the help of the Bendigo Bank and now our great shelter, we can have our assemblies each week, which we're really happy.